All right, Nathan here, Inside Sports. It's been a while. I haven't been making as many videos as I've wanted to in the last week or so. It's just been very crazy. I'm out here in California. There's fires, there's Star Wars, there's real life. It's just, when you've got uh, life to deal with, family, football, sports, for those of you that like to bet, I mean, this is all mostly for fun. It's all secondary to responsibility and taking care of things at home. But a little about me. I actually just got back from Star Wars, the newest movie. No spoilers, but it was definitely not what I had expected, which I think is a good thing. Because if I can predict exactly what's going to happen in the movie, I'll probably be a little disappointed. There were some things that maybe I would have wished had gone a different way, but I was very pleasantly surprised in many different parts of the movie. Overall, I liked it more than The Force Awakens. I felt like it tried to be original, tried to do its own thing, and I think it succeeded in many ways. So I'm very happy, and I recommend, if you're a fan, definitely go see it. All right, let's go to the picks. I did make some picks yesterday that I sent out to some of my friends and family. Even since then, some of the lines have changed. Hold on one second. Okay, back. Yeah, like I said, real life. My son needed some water. All right, but let's get down to it. Earlier, I don't know if it's late at night. I did pick Denver and the under on Thursday night. I hit both. It looked like it might have gone over, but a win's a win, and I was able to get both of those. And it didn't go exactly as I planned either, because Seaman got injured. But that's just the way it goes. Osweiler stepped up. All right, I'm just going to go down the board as it's listed. I'm looking at VegasInsider.com. I'm not promoting any particular website, but that's the one that I like to use because it has the latest lines and they're updated pretty regularly. All right, we've got Chicago at Detroit. Currently, the line is now Detroit favored by 4.5 points. I'm taking Detroit minus 4.5. They're still in the playoff picture. Chicago did surprise Cincinnati last week, but I just don't think they have consistent enough offense to do much damage. Detroit won on the road. I mean, Matthew Stafford is an elite quarterback. Quarterbacks win in this league. Average margin of victory, from what I understand, is right around 6 points per game. So even though the most common score that games are won by is by 3 points, when a team does win, the average margin of victory is actually 6 points. So that means that for every time a team wins by only 3, there's another team that wins by 9, or let's say more, to get that margin of victory to 6. So we're taking Detroit minus 4.5. I actually like them at minus 5.5 is what I had yesterday. And I'm taking the under at 44. Chicago's got a very good defense. Detroit, their defense isn't bad either, and I just don't know if enough points are going to be scored by Chicago or Detroit to keep this game over 44 points. All right, next we've got the Los Angeles Chargers. I still can't get used to that. At the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs finally won a game against the Raiders. I don't know what happened. I mean, the Raiders, they just did not give their best effort last week. The Chargers, they've been playing well all season. I mean, yes, they've won their last 4 in a row. They've actually been playing very well all season. If it wasn't for some kicker issues, they'd easily have a huge lead in the division right now. They're just a very good team, and I think they're motivated. They're playing with a passion. I think the Chargers are probably just the better team right now. Earlier this season, Kansas City was great. I mean, they beat New England and Philly. I mean, they looked unstoppable. Now, I just feel there's too many question marks. Certainly, can Kansas City win this game? Absolutely. They're at home. But I think all the momentum's with the Chargers. I'm going to stick with the Chargers. It's a pick. Chargers, and it's going to be a close game. I don't think either team's going to blow out whichever one. It's now 46.5. I had it at 46 earlier. We're taking over 46.5 points. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, back and forth. Whoever wins this is probably going to win the division. All right, next we've got Philadelphia at the New York Giants. Philly just lost their quarterback, Carson Wentz. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but even though the quarterback is the most important position, they aren't the whole team. Nick Foles is also a very solid quarterback. I really don't expect much of a drop off from Nick Foles to Carson Wentz. I really don't. I really think all the pieces are in place. Nick Foles just has to, keep the engine running, basically. Does that mean there will be a drop off? Probably. There probably will be, but I expect Philadelphia to still win this game. Granted, a lot can go wrong with the backup quarterback, someone who hasn't played in a while, stepping in on the road. Even though I think Philadelphia is going to win, I strongly feel that it's more likely than not that the ball bounces the wrong way or a few bad things happen that keeps this game closer than you would expect. So I'm actually going to take the Giants at plus 7.5 points. They're at home. Eli's playing still. Backup quarterback with Philly. Like I said, I still think Philly should win this game, but we're taking the Giants plus 7.5. And the over-under is now 40.5. It was 40 yesterday. We're still taking the over 40.5. Next, Green Bay at Carolina. Look, everyone knows Aaron Rodgers is back. It's no surprise. This guy alone is worth at least 6-7 points for the Packers. The Packers are 3-point underdogs. Aaron Rodgers is worth every single point. I think if they're going to make the playoffs, they've got to win every game. So he's going to have to put them on his back, carry them by himself. The whole Packers team is going to be pumped up. Don't get me wrong, Carolina is very good, and they may very well win this game. But Green Bay is not going to go down without a fight. We're taking Green Bay plus 3. Over-under is now 47. We're going to go over. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, back and forth, and Green Bay is going to win at the end. Now we've got Cincinnati at Minnesota. Okay, Cincinnati laid an egg last week. Okay, certainly. They're not a great team, but they're not a terrible team. Minnesota lost last week. They needed a win. It was overdue. They're now back at home. I think Minnesota should win this game handily, but it's 11 points. 11 points. As you can see last week when the Patriots lost to the Dolphins outright, 11 points is a lot. I think Cincinnati keeps it close. They surprise them. Sure, Minnesota could blow them out. We're taking Cincinnati plus 11. Over-under is 42. What did I have before? Sorry for the delay. I've got to find it. We've got 42 points over. It's still 42. We're taking the over. All right, next we got Miami at Buffalo. Okay, Miami looked like a playoff team last week. Buffalo, it was a snowstorm. It's hard to tell. Barely eked out a win. But they've won, 2 of their last 3. They beat Kansas City. They beat Indianapolis. So Buffalo, they're you got to be a little careful. They're favored by 3 points at home. Miami at times looked horrible. But I don't know. I feel like maybe they gained some confidence. Maybe they're figuring some things out. Like their offense is starting to play better. Their defense is starting to play better. Neither of these teams is out of the playoff picture. Miami, Buffalo, if they both win out, both of them have a chance to make the playoffs. So I'm going to ride the momentum. Look, no one beats the Patriots on accident. Sure, anyone can have a bad game, but we're going to take Miami plus 3 points, and currently over-under is sitting at 38.5. 39.5. I wonder if there's another snowstorm. But if there's no snowstorm, we're taking the over. All right? If there's a snowstorm, all bets are off. We'll take the under again. All right, Houston at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's favored by 11. Again, this is division rivalry. Jacksonville's a great team. Look, they've beaten Indianapolis 23-0. They got a great defense. But 11 points in the NFL is just, it's so many points, especially against a division rival that knows you. I mean, yes, Houston looked horrible last week, but I think you just can't give up that many points. So we're going to take Houston plus 11. Over-unders 38. We're going over. Turnover, short fields. I mean, yeah, you could say both offenses aren't great, but you got to look at the big picture. You got to look for turnovers. You got to look for other things. 38's not a lot of points in this league. We're going over. We've got New York Jets at New Orleans. All right, this game, I'm going to, I guess put money on it, so to speak. But the Jets, they admitted in the media that they gave up at Denver. They said the last 11 minutes of that game, they just ran the ball 6 out of 8 plays. They just wanted to get out of there. Denver already beaten them. No sense getting beat up more. They laid down, and they admitted it. New Orleans is a great team, especially a great team at home. But the Jets really are not that bad. I mean, they have been very competitive in most of their games. Last week was a rare exception. Yes, they're on the road again. Yes, now they're on the road against a playoff team that's very good. But New Orleans' defense is actually not as good as Denver's defense, believe it or not. Denver just hasn't had an offense consistent enough to keep them off the field so the defense doesn't have to play 40 minutes a game. So, look, I said it before, 11 points is too much. 15.5 is way too much. Yes, should New Orleans win this game? Absolutely, they should win. But don't be surprised if the Jets come out and play very competitive and keep this game close. And who knows? I mean, if you want to bet a money line game, not that I'm advocating betting, but if you wanted to play the money line, I think this is worth a chance. 15.5 points. We're taking the New York Jets plus 15.5. Over-unders 47.5. We're going to go under. We're going to keep it close. All right. Arizona at Washington. Okay, look, I'm going to tell you right now, no matter what Washington does, or whatever I pick Washington to do, they will always do the opposite, and I will always be wrong. So it's been this way for probably 10 years. I don't know what it is about Washington. They're like just consistently good enough to like beat some teams, but consistently bad enough that they will lose to teams they shouldn't lose to. Anyway, Washington's favored by 4. Arizona, they're on the road. They upset Jacksonville. They beat Tennessee in a close-scoring game. I mean, Washington is not that great. They should win by 4, but I just don't think they're that great. You're going to take Arizona plus 4 points. The over-under is now 41. I had them at 43. I was taking the under. I don't really like 41, but we'll take the under 41. People were looking at last week's scores and how low it was. This game's going to end at 42. I know it now, but we're taking the under 41. Maybe Arizona's figuring something out late in the season. All right, we got Baltimore at Cleveland. Okay, Cleveland, they fired their GM. Josh Gordon's back. They're figuring things out. I think Cleveland, I really want to take Cleveland plus 7 here. I really, really, really do. But Baltimore has actually looked pretty impressive the last 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, they've had a shutout. I mean, they nearly beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. I mean, I don't know where all those points came from. I mean, they're looking like a pretty solid team. And Cleveland, I just don't know if the talent's there to compete. I mean, Baltimore looks very, very solid. So we're going to take Baltimore minus 7. And the over-under currently sits at 40.5. We're going to take the under. I mean, who knows? Maybe Baltimore shuts them out again, like 30-0. So we're taking the under 40.5 points. All right, LA Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. 2 division rivals, both teams pushing for the playoffs. Both are very good teams this year. This is really tough. Part of me wants to say that, Seattle should win this game, but I like the energy that the Rams are bringing. They've got, a young head coach, young quarterback. This is like a different team. I feel like it's their time to step up and say, Seattle doesn't dominate this division anymore. it's time for the Rams to shine. So I'm taking the Rams +2 on the road at Seattle. I know, but Rams almost always play them tough and consistently. I know it's different coaching staff, but they would often beat Seattle. They're like the only team in the division that would beat Seattle, and they would do it. So for whatever it is, Rams always play Seattle tough. They're on the road, but they're going to announce themselves with this game. LA Rams +2. They're going to win this game. Over-under is 47.5 points. This is also tough, but I'm going to lean to the under. I'm not excited about either one. I could easily see this one going over, but, I think both defense have been pretty solid this year. We're going to go under. All right, game of the week. If the Rams-Seattle isn't game of the week, then what's New England at Pittsburgh? This is it, guys. This is for home field advantage at the playoffs. They might meet each other again in the playoffs. Right now, New England's favored by 3 points. And it's listing at even money. Very interesting. So it's probably going to be a close game. Pittsburgh plays very well at home. Part of me wants to take the home underdog +3 with Pittsburgh. But look, this is the New England football Patriots, led by Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. Rob Gronkowski's coming back. I know they laid an egg last week, but if they are going to win the Super Bowl, they're going to want to step up and prove that they are the New England Patriots, and they are going to beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Granted, is it going to be by more than 3 points? I don't know. Probably. So we're taking New England -3. The over-under is 54.5. I think we can bank that this is most likely going to go over 54.5. Yes, is it possible that it's a defensive struggle and the game ends 17-14 or something? Absolutely, anything can happen in football. But more likely than not, this game is going to be high scoring. Final score is going to be, 31-27 or something. It's going to be last man standing. Whoever has the ball in their hands last is going to win this game. So New England going to beat Pittsburgh -3. You heard it from me first. All right, next we got Tennessee at the San Francisco Football 49ers, led by my new favorite player, Jimmy Garoppolo, just in time for Hanukkah. Wonderful. 49ers are now favored by 1 point, believe it or not. The lowly 49ers against a potentially playoff-bound Tennessee team. But you know what? I believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. I feel that the Niners, they've got some energy, they've got some youth. They're playing hard again. They're excited. I like what they're doing. Jimmy Garoppolo, he seems like the real deal. He learned under Tom Brady. I'm not crazy about his throwing motion, but he's got a compact throw. It's concise. It's accurate. Tight spiral. He's looking good. So we're taking San Francisco -1 at home. Over under is 45 points. We're ahead at under 46. Now it's 45. We'll take the under at 45. I don't think it's going to be a barn burner. It could be, but I'm taking the under. All right, now we've got Dallas at Oakland. What are these? The two most hated teams in the league? Maybe outside of New England. But we've got Dallas trying to make a playoff push. Oakland is just barely hanging on. Maybe if they win out, they've got a chance. This is really a dire must-win game for both teams. Really tough call, but I'm going with Oakland. 3-point home underdogs. I think they want to prove that last week was a fluke. They don't have to necessarily win this game to cover that spread, but I think it's going to be close. I really don't think Oakland and Dallas, not that they play each other very often, but I just don't think they like each other. Who's the best, most hated team in the league? Well, we're going to find out. So we're taking Oakland +3, home underdogs. Over-under currently sits at 45.5 points. It was 46 yesterday. Part of me wants to go over. I had it as under listed before. I'm going to stick with what I had. We're going to go with the under. All right. Oakland hasn't always been lighting up, and then you put too much on Dak Prescott's shoulders, and he struggled too. So looking for a low-scoring game here. All right, now finally we've got Monday Night Football, Atlanta and Tampa Bay. For some reason, Tampa Bay always plays Atlanta tough. I don't know why. They don't seem like the best team, but they've had a lot of close losses. And for some reason, Atlanta, they have their number. I wish this line were 7 points. I like that so much more than 6.5. But I'm going to take the home underdog plus 6.5 points, Tampa Bay, against Atlanta Falcons. And normally I like the Monday Night Football games to go over because, people are pumped, high-scoring games. But, I don't know. I just feel that the Tampa D is a little bit underrated. Atlanta's struggled on offense at times. I'm going to actually take the under this time, Monday Night Football, 48.5 points. Not that it's due necessarily. I don't really believe in that so much. But I just feel like 48.5 is a fair amount of points. And I think both these defenses are underrated. And I think that this game is going to go over. All right, well, that's my picks for this week. I'm sorry for getting out so late. I wanted to get it out earlier so people can actually think about it, get it before the lines get too crazy, if that's what they're into, and then, think about it for the rest of the week. But, it is what it is. This is Friday evening, and hopefully, we'll do well this week. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Looks like my son wants me again. All right, bye.